Hello.
Hey, is this Tony?
This is me.
Tony, it's Errol Collins. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man.
Excellent.
You're just chilling out, watching a little Rick Beato right now. Chilling.
You have time to talk about your music?
Absolutely. Of course. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Absolutely. You got to tell me how it is that you're able to keep that rich rock sound. Everybody is either overcompressed or they're trying to do something they can't do. But when I was listening to Bleeding Out, I'm going, oh my God, this is exactly what I grew up on.
Well, yeah, we're trying to do, and, just actually it's kind of, what I was just, watching and listening to at Rick Beato there is how things are done now, how records are made and how music production has changed. And, a lot of what you're hearing on that track is a guitar and a chord and an amp head and a cabinet. We really wanted to try to not cut the corners, too much. And, there's some times that we have to, we just, because there's, budgetary limits, but for the most part, we're trying to do it for real, man, and I think it's important. I think it's important. It comes across.
Did you record it one piece at a time, or was everybody in the studio?
Generally we're doing drum takes.
Nice.
with me. I'm mostly playing guitar and just me and the drummer, and that seems to work out pretty well because I really enjoy the rhythmic part of playing guitar, electric guitar in general, right? So I just dig that part, and so me and the drummer can vibe, and sometimes I'll play bass, but bass is usually something I play later. I'm doing all guitars and bass.
I was going to ask you about that bass guitar and the drums, because that's a relationship right there. Those two things have to go hand in hand.
They do, I guess, and it would be more. I guess it's not. It'd be more. I don't know what the word is. More honest, maybe. I guess if it was just simply just me and the drummer just kind of grooving and banging out the song, but for just practical purposes, if it's just me and the drummer, we have to do it where there's some harmonic information, and I'm doing a scratch vocal at the same time, and we're vibing that way. When it does come time for me to play the bass, I certainly really do try to clue in on what happened, what happened in the room at that moment. And that track is Dickie Fleazar, great drummer, a guy that I work with in Jack Russell's Great White, and I've known Dickie for almost 10 years now. Wow. He's just a fabulous drummer and great guy too. So.
Wow. I got to tell you how I worked your song Bleeding Out. First of all, I listened to it through earbuds, and then I went out to the car and drove down I-45 here in Charlotte so I could get the vibration there. And then I put it through the stereo speakers. My God, you have made sure that every one of those platforms really get the good vibe.
I'm really, well, it's partly our approach in general. Like the three of us that really work the production side of it would be myself, Andrew Wesley, who's the engineer and actually mixed it, and then Bax Baca was my writing partner, and he plays and helps me write the tracks too. And so we want to have everything just kind of have its own little domain. I really like having the keyboards and piano in a track, and so I wanted to make sure that popped. And some hard rock bands you don't have that dynamic. Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure we have that.
Were you guys analog at all? Because there's such a deep, rich sound to Bleeding Out.
We gosh, I wish.
Yeah,
I wish that's a little bit outside of out of our budget right now to be able to do that. I would love to. I really, really miss the feel of 2-inch tape and the sound of it. Now, granted, in today's audio workstations and software, there's a bunch of plugins that try to mimic tape compression, but yeah, there's nothing like recording drums to tape. It sounds so good, man.
So we've got somebody in common, Zach Baer.
Okay, right.
Another creative beast. The two of you together, my God, what a monster machine you've got.
Well, I've got I pulled Zach in, and he was listening to what we were doing, and he thought, well, why are you not doing this through our company that we work together on? And I'm like, well, I don't know why I'm not doing it through the company. I just, I released my previous album. It's called Sugarbowl.
Yep.
And that's out on Deco Entertainment. Those guys are out of New York City, and they've been great. And but this time around, we thought, let's keep it close to home. And so Zach took the ball and ran with it.
Let's talk about Sugarbowl, because that video in itself, there's something that I saw in that video immediately, and I don't know if I'm right in describing this. There's a lot of structure in it, from the bridges to being in the warehouse. I really felt like that you were sending out a message of, you've got to keep it together to be strong.
Well, the song in general, and I appreciate that, by the way. I love that you've listened to it and you have your interpretation of it, because it's kind of I don't want to call it, at least from my interpretation of it from writing it is about relationships, and about some hurtful things, right? Yeah. Hurtful things and things that you have to try to overcome, or that you're gathering your strength to get through. I think that's probably the best description of it too, or at least from my end, right? Like, yes, it's about trying to be strong and trying to get through whatever challenges that relationship going through.
Well, that bluesy instrumentation in the background really helps bring that storyline together with those lyrics.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, man. It's a vibey tune, and it's maybe constructed a little it's not traditional in a lot of respects, but once we started out with that wah guitar, the vibe of it just had to go on its own direction. So then we let it go.
I've been waiting for classic rock radio stations to allow the artists to come in that have a history, but at the same time, they've also got new music. And classic rock radio has always been so locked up in their own sound. But man, that song Sugarbowl opened up a door for everybody.
I appreciate, I really appreciate that, because my God, radio is just a hard thing it's a hard nut to crack these days. And I get it. If I was, the owner of a radio station, I would, I'd be pretty conservative about the things that I played. And, there are things that are tried and true that make money and bring in ad dollars. And so it's tough. It's a tough situation out there, but that song for sure has the sound of that classic rock, format. And I would think, somebody should be able to get it,
Coming up with the name of the band, Shadow and the Thrill. That in itself, that's got that name in it that people are going to say, man, I'm going to go see Shadow tonight. Got to go see Shadow tonight. So that puts you out front there, bud.
And I guess I am. That is a bit of my character. If you talk to Bax and to Andy and some of my bandmates, they would say that, I am kind of that guy. And that's cool. That's cool with me. I'd rather keep a little mystery going on, at this point in my life, than just to always lay it out there like I did as a kid out on the road with Great White, where, you're just exposed all the time. And this is cool. And the thrill is basically the band and the guys that are bringing it, bringing the music out. So,
but isn't that what made Led Zeppelin? Led Zeppelin was the mystique. We didn't know everything about them, therefore we had to gravitate toward them.
I agree. It's just funny. You're basically saying the same thing that Rick Beato I just watched this video about, he's lamenting about the way music is made these days. And the truth is that back then, yes, you really didn't know much. And all you had was that album cover.
Yep.
And you read the names. Like, I know the names of producers of albums. Like, why do I know that? Why do I know, the guys who played on certain albums and what musicians were on there? It's because that was the discovery process, right? And now everything is just exposed to the nth degree. So it's hard to keep things interesting.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, especially when we get to social media, and sometimes I just go, I don't want to go out on social media with this. It's like people they want to see my picture when I do like a Zoom call, and it's like, no, I'm a radio guy. I don't want you to know what I look like. That to me is the mystery of the that little storytelling inside the imagination.
Totally. Yeah, I love that. And again, like a video. Like a video representation of a song, and that almost kind of killed, a lot of what it was like as I remember as a kid with headphones listening to Led Zeppelin 3, right? Like my mind would go off, and I'm listening to whatever song, Since I've Been Loving You or whatever it is, and your mind is creating this dreamscape while you're listening to this amazing music. Whereas if you have a video, and everything is a video now, that's kind of tied to the music. So it's something that you have to do these days. I did put together a video for Bleeding Out where we were very fortunate to use the PRS Paul Reed Smith Guitars has a West Coast artist showroom here in LA, and they were so kind to let me do that. And so we filmed a bunch of footage there, and we actually recorded live there as well. Wow. And then so I decided, I don't want to do like a story thing. Like, I had a story idea, and I thought, I'm just going to throw up a bunch of stuff of my past, of my life and music. That's one of the lines in the song is my life, whatever. And there you go. And hopefully it's still allows people to make their own interpretation of the song. Let it relate to their life the way they hear the lyrics and stuff. So.
And isn't that part of the reason that because you put your passion and your emotion into every one of those songs, and you want us to be able to feel it as well?
Oh, totally. And it's funny, my girlfriend will listen to the lyrics, and sometimes she's overanalyzing lyrics a little bit, but I let her go, and I just let her start explaining to me what she thinks things mean, and I just love that. I love that interpretation is there, and the delivery of it is, I'm putting my heart and soul into it, obviously, right? So there is that feeling, and hopefully the words will also catch somebody and bring that out of them. I'm hope.
Yeah. As you continue to grow music, is there a tour or some sort of performances scheduled?
We're doing our best to get out there. I have such a crazy schedule with my other bands, with Jack Russell's Great White. I still play out with Jack. I have for fun. I have some friends that here in Orange County, California, where we put together a Journey tribute band, just for fun, right? Just for for laughs on a Friday night that I'm not out on the road, and it turned into this real thing. So now I'm really busy and traveling with those guys quite a bit. In between all that, I'm trying to interject some Shadow and the Thrill shows. We did a show in Phoenix and Tucson recently, and LA. We played LA here at the Mint. So right now I'm looking at Las Cruces, El Paso, Tucson, Phoenix again, and yeah, I can't wait, man. It's so much fun to get out and play this stuff.
Well, I got to tell you that the conversation, it'd be so easy to put it into the Great White folder with all the other interviews I've had with those guys. But I think we need the Tony Cardenas album and folder all to himself, because this is, I mean, you've earned this because you've got this sound about you that is really going to stretch the boundaries.
I think the next track, and we have 10 tracks that we're working on and finishing up incrementally here. The next song, I think, is really, it certainly is going to warrant its own folder and a little bit out of the I like to call it the sandbox. You know, I've been living in the sandbox since I joined Great White in '87.
Wow.
So it's all kind of the same players and same music. And I left music business for a while in the '90s, and I had started another career, and came back to music. And I'm like, okay, am I back in the sandbox? Yes, but I don't want to be completely back in the sandbox. I want to be able to do things that are a little bit out. Like if you listen to another track on Sugarbowl, the album, is our cover of Gnarls Barkley's "Crazy," which is definitely blues based, but I wouldn't, I can't imagine a band like, well, I'm not going to use any, I'm not going to say any bands from the era, but you know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine very many bands doing that version of the song from that genre, So we're stepping out a little bit. We're taking some chances, and God, it's the best work I've ever done. So I hope people enjoy it.
Absolutely. Where can they go to find out more information about your new band, Shadow and the Thrill? And I'm sure you've got merchandise. We got to sell that merchandise.
We got merch. Oh, you know what? I love my merch. I had a guy do a really cool illustration of us, of our guys that play out often, and it's. I hate to use the word cute, but man, it's really cute, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, you can go to Shadow and the Thrill Facebook for sure, or Instagram. And we have, our YouTube channel, Shadow and Thrill, and pretty much that's us out there. This song is available. Bleeding Out's available on iTunes and Amazon and all the normal places to get music as well. So, but it's just by a single right now. So no album yet. We're gonna just keep releasing singles for the rest of the year and probably into 2025. And then we'll probably do some vinyl at the end.
Nice.
Yeah, vinyl's something else, man. It really is that's an eye opener to finally get music back on vinyl again.
Absolutely. Please come back to this show anytime in the future, Tony. The door is always going to be open for you.
I so appreciate it. And again, if I'm close to you, you better come out, man.
Well, you better meet me too, because we're in the Carolinas. So if you make it over here to the Carolinas.
Oh man, I love it over there. Shoot, I almost moved to North Carolina.
Nice.
Back in the day, yeah, it's just so pretty, man. Nice and green. It's something we don't have here in California. That's like full-grown trees and shade. Hello, that'd be nice to have.
Oh, then I won't tell you that I live in a forest right here in South Charlotte, North Carolina. This huge forest with all the wild animals. Oh, hell yes, I love my forest.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we'll get around. We're gonna hopefully we'll get out to the East Coast as well. But I hope people just keep an eye out and keep listening, and we'll get out there eventually.
Excellent. Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thanks to everybody who's listened for sure.
Thank you very much.